Now, I also spoke with Seattle defensive tackle Jarran Reed on the phone this week, and he told me they're expecting to see an even better Rams team than the one that they saw in Week 10, saying after last week's loss to the Jets, they're going to be looking to prove themselves and make a statement about what kind of team they are, and a win on the road against a division rival would be the exclamation point on the season that they've been looking for, and it's our job to keep that from happening. Sam?
Yeah, by the way, shout out to Molly McGrath, about to bring a human life into the world any day now and still getting it done in the NFL and in college. But let's get to this game she's talking about, guys. At this point in the season, both of these teams, I mean, you remember how much love we were giving the Seahawks early on in the year, despite the difficulties their defense, I mean, that's putting it mildly, that their defense had early on. The defense gets better, and now some questions may be elsewhere. Randy, right now, which of these two teams do you have more confidence in?
Well, let me take it back to their first meeting. I remember asking a similar question about DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey. Who do I think is going to have a better day? But when I look at this game today, I look in the favor of the Seattle Seahawks. The reason why 6 sacks in their first meeting, and Jalen Ramsey fared the best out of the two. It's one thing that I look at when dealing with a matchup, when you have the #1 cornerback going with you. We all show signs of really not giving it our all at times, and that's what I've seen in DK Metcalf. So today on 3rd down, I really need to see him go after the ball. Russell Wilson's going to hold on the ball. That's why they're giving up the sacks like that. So for Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf today, I expect DK Metcalf to come back stronger than he did the first game.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Jared Goff, specifically. It's like, who are you? And my eyebrows raised when I was listening to Molly talk to him, and she asked, what makes anyone think it's going to be different this year? But based on what I saw last week from Jared Goff, it's only a matter of time that it's going to end for this Los Angeles Rams football team. You got to win 4 games to win the championship, all right, if you don't get the bye. Can this team do that? I don't know, because one of them, whether it's the Super Bowl or the wild card round, we'll be talking about Jared Goff and how he just couldn't get it done.
I think he can get it done if they protect him, though. And that's the word of the day for me on this game is identity. Like, what's the identity of each team? What's the identity of this Rams offense? And they're going up against a Seattle Seahawks defense that since week 8, they're #1 in the NFL in sacks. #1. Like, that's an incredible turnaround. So if they're able to get pressure on Jared Goff, fine. But talking about the identity of the Seattle Seahawks, they're going up against the LA Rams team that is the best, #1 in the passing defense. I believe that's going to help Seattle be what they should have been all along. Use that identity. They're healthy at running back now. Run the football. Russell Wilson is at his best when that team is running the football, and then when the time is appropriate, he takes his shots. He's the best deep ball thrower in the game. But when you're able to run the football, that's going to help your defense, that complementary thing, and the speed outside. Again, you talked about the sacks. Rex says it all the time. You can't get a sack on a running play. So if you're calling all those runs, they're not rushing the passer. They're not getting sacks. That's the formula that Seattle knows they need to have. But they've just, for whatever reason, they lost their way for a little while this year. I think they get it back, and I think they get it back today because of the strength of the LA Rams secondary.
I look at it, it's such a fascinating matchup to me because both teams want to establish the run. Both of them need to. You just mentioned, Matt, about how Russell Wilson's a better quarterback when they're running the football and that play action's working. We know Jared Goff, man, he's a terrific player if you're running the football. And so that, to me, it's got to go. Who can establish the run in this matchup, I think, is the one who has the edge in this game, is going to win this game. And to me, Molly talked about what Seattle's thinking. They're thinking LA's going to come in here and they're going to be angry. They better be angry because you just got beat by the Jets. And right now, the winner of this game basically wins their division. So to me, pound the football, be angry, be physical. Whoever does it best, I think, wins this game.
Yeah, the Rams kind of have this weird thing, though, where they sort of play to the level of their competition. I mean, they obviously struggled against the Jets, but they've won 4 straight against teams with winning records. So when we look at that, what do you think explains that?
Those teams that flip the switch. Yeah. It's just those teams you don't really respect sometimes, because that had to be, for me, the most disappointing performance of the season, what the Rams did and everything they had on the line against the New York Jets at home, and still go out and lose that game, because everything's there, and the teams and the coaches, and I'm talking about you, McVay, or Pete Carroll knows this, how you want your team playing going into the end of the year. The Seahawks have it figured out. The Rams are still trying to figure out that identity. But I do think there's a part of this team where we just roll out that helmet, we're going to be fine. And those type of mentalities, it's like, oh, do we have is your switch flipped? Is it yours or mine? Oh, I thought we had it flipped. Too late. You've lost the game. You know, those type of inconsistent mentalities, those are the ones that exit the playoffs.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.